Mr. Brayand.
What's up, brother?
What's up, my man?
Oh shit! Just messaging
Hey,
a
what
private
is
lender
that,
for
my
a
friend?
deal that I got. Say what?
What is that in your hand, my friend?
It's a fucking blunt. What do you think
What?
it is?
Yeah, the old cannabis. Dude, that's actually. I was going through your podcast, bro, and I told you, right? Hearing it on the way back from Vegas, dude.
Yeah.
That's fire, bro. That's fire, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I wanted to do something different and something that people don't talk about. And especially in real estate, man, everybody's so focused on fucking the how, what contract do I use? What do I tell a seller? What should I put on a bandit sign? What should I fucking put on a mailer? That I noticed that all that was oversaturated. So I really started thinking about what I can do to help everybody out there. And I decided that the mindset was the best thing. Honestly, like, I mean, I've been studying this book over here, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, for the last 10 years. So.
Yeah, dude. Actually, that's a book that one of my mentors put me on, bro. From one of the real estate masterminds.
Yeah.
I got through like half of the audiobook so far, but I'm not through with it yet.
Yeah. So the my
this is
mentor,
all pre-interview, by the way, bro.
Coach. My mentor actually, he's friends with this guy. So the author of the book, T. Harv Eker, my mentor Jeff actually grew up with Harv back in Canada, and they were buddies as kids. And my mentor Jeff actually helped Harv create the business. So when Harv was writing the book, Jeff was creating. He was the COO, the Chief Operating Officer. Anyway, I've been studying that book for the last 10 years.
Yeah, dude. Hey, during the call right now, man, let's talk a little bit more about that, bro. That's something I was wondering, man, like who helped lift you up, you know what I mean? Like mentors, that kind of thing. I'm not sure in your podcast, man, I heard any of that on the drive back.
No, I mean, I rarely talk about real estate on my podcast, but one of the things that I learned growing up, one of the things that I'll put out there to all you fucking newbies out there is, you know, a lot of you motherfuckers just reach out and say, give me. So I get a lot of fucking people that like message me on Facebook, on Instagram and say, hey man, teach me. Like I've had motherfuckers literally say, hey, teach me how to make money. Hey, make money for me. And I'm like, motherfucker, I don't even fucking know you. Fuck you. So the best thing that I've learned how to do when I was growing up is learn how to make other people money and then learn how to make money in between. So when I was growing into the business, my mentors were my buyers.
Okay.
I was really broke, so I didn't have money to pay coaching classes or the different groups, the Renatas and shit like that. I didn't have money to waste on all that. So I was like, man, why don't I just ask people that know what they're doing, see how I can help them. So I would meet them in an event. Like, let's say that I'm getting started and I met you at an event, Jesse. And I was like, hey, Jesse, man, I'm a new blah, blah, blah. How can I help you? How can I benefit you? What type of deals are you buying? What type of areas are you buying in? Blah, 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 blah. Just let me know. All the normal
seminar stuff.
Yeah, but the difference is that I actually did it. And more importantly, I actually followed up with these people. So every single week I would call these people, hey man, how's it going? Just letting you know, I got this deal right here. I found this. And then I got to the point where I found 4 or 5 really solid buyers, just really solid buyers. I knew for a fact they were buying. They weren't wholesaling. Not that I have a problem with people daisy chaining or anything, but I knew that these people were my buyers. So what I would do is, let's say that I see this fucking, I've never met this guy, but I see this guy on the screen, Robert. So let's say that Robert here let's say that I met him at an event. So I go to a networking event on Monday and I meet you, Jesse. And then I go to a networking event on Friday and I meet Robert. You tell me, hey man, I buy properties on the West Side for blah, 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 whatever. I meet Robert and Robert's brand new and he's like, hey man, I did some marketing. I'm so excited. I got a deal. I don't know what the fuck to do with it. Awesome, bro. I got a guy who will buy this shit for you. You don't even have to fucking worry about it. I would bring you the deal, say, hey, Jesse, here's what I got. Now, here's what I'm going to do for you, man, is I'm bringing you this shit first. The only thing that I ask in return is you give me a quick answer. So within 24 hours, tell me yes or no. And if you tell me no, I want to know why. I just want to learn. I want to learn how you look at things. Because as a new fucking...
Hey, well, really quick, guys. Hey, we got started a little bit early, guys. Everyone that doesn't know, my name's Jesse. Robert on the screen there is our social hype man for the Southwest Collab. Ruben runs our New Mexico one, and for all of you that have joined in the Zoom, this is, man, I had such a hard time with the name, man, until I heard it. Brayand Ponciano, and man, welcome. Thank you for joining us, man. Again, man. But I'll let you go ahead and continue, man, and then tell us a little bit about you and your life, bro, and your story, and then we'll jump into the real estate.
I would assume that most people on the call right now are newbies. And what I mean by newbies is people that either are in the business or want to get into the business, somebody who's probably doing one wholesale a month, if that. And that's not a bad thing. I'm just letting you guys know. Now, a lot of times when I get interviewed, one of the questions that people like to ask me is, if I could start all over, what would I do different? If I could go back knowing what I know now, what would I do different? And honestly, there's two things that I would highly recommend. Number one is networking. Just like I mentioned, networking. You go to different events. You hear it all the time. You agree with it, but you never fucking do it. And most of you motherfuckers that do it don't ever do it right. So Robert knows Jesse. Robert's going to go to a fucking networking event. He's going to see all these other people that he doesn't know, but he's going to walk up to Jesse. Hey, buddy, what's going on, man? How's it going? Oh, good. Motherfucker, you can talk to Jesse anytime. Like, you have his phone number. Y'all are friends. Like, fuck, don't waste your time there at the networking event. Start talking to other people. As you meet other people, understand that it doesn't take money to take money. It takes creativity. And the definition of an entrepreneur is somebody that solves problems for a profit. So if let's say you use the example that Jesse is a buyer, Robert is a wholesaler, Jesse has a problem. He needs more deals. I see a girl, what's her name, Valley here. So Valley is Jesse's private lender. Valley has some money, and she said she already lent Jesse borrow $100,000 that Jesse is paying her 12%. That makes it $1,000 a month, interest only payments. He needs to do something with that money as soon as has like a fucking hand grenade, right? He needs to do something with it. So I'm solving his problem. Robert just locked up a deal, and he doesn't have any buyers. He doesn't really know what he's doing. He's talked to a few people. He's had some flaky buyers. His contract is about to run out. He's got 20, 30 days on the fucking contract. He's got a problem. So if I can solve your problem, I deserve to make money. And when you network with people, you're gonna hear people's problems. What do they do? Hey, what do you do? Awesome. How do you like it? Cool. What's going great? How can I benefit you? How can I be of help to you? And remember what I said, if you can learn to make other people money, and in between make your own money, that's how really you get started in the business. When I did real estate investing, when I first got started as a wholesaler, I was door knocking. I was door knocking for an investor. This was back in 06. So I was door knocking for this guy. He would provide all the leads. It was commission only, and I would get 25% of the deal if we got somebody to close the deal. So anyway, I did that for a long ass time, and I didn't get any fucking deals. It took me like 9 months to get my first deal. Within those 9 months, there was this little white boy who came into the fucking office, and he was like 20 years old, cockier than a little motherfucker. And dude, he would get deals all the fucking time. So I went up to him and I'm like, Zach, how do you fucking get all these deals? He's like, networking, bro. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? He's like, man, I talk to people at the bar. I talk to people at the restaurants. I talk to people at the networking events. I follow up with them. I go get lunch with them. And people just send me deals. Honestly, man, I thought he was fucking full of shit. Because he was 20 years old. I was probably 25 years old at that time. I thought he was fucking full of shit. I thought he was fucking with me. Come to find out, man, if I could go back, I would start networking, but network intentionally. Don't waste your time with other motherfuckers that are not doing anything. Now, you don't have to shit on people and be like, oh, fuck you, motherfucker. You're not doing any deal, so I'm not going to waste my time talking to you. But don't spend all your time talking to them. Purposely find, hey, you heard that Jesse does deals in San Antonio? Awesome, man. I know people that have deals in San Antonio. Let me see how I could make my way to speak with Jesse. And then when you meet Jesse, you want to understand this principle. It's not what you know, it's who you know. We've all heard that shit. It's not who you know, but how you know them. So let's say that Robert also met Jesse, but I am doing what I'm teaching you. So Robert did what most of you motherfuckers do. He showed up to the networking event. Hey, Jesse, it's nice to meet you, man. I've seen you online. You're fucking awesome. Let's see if we can work together. Great. Jesse's like, yeah, sure. Here's my phone number. And you motherfuckers never call him, never text, never ask a question, never join his group, never do any of this shit. Now, I'm on the opposite side where I purposely go out of my way. Hey, Jesse, let's get together. Give me your number. I know you're busy. Everybody wants to talk to you. I'll text you tomorrow. Well, I follow through with my word. Hey, Jesse, what's up, brother? I fucking take a picture. I don't expect him to remember me. I don't fucking know. Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. Hey, bro, here's me. Chook, chook, chook. You know, you might have remembered me from yesterday. I would love to sit down and talk, see what you're doing, see how I can be a benefit to you. When would be a good time next week for us to go do some lunch? Oh, you're busy during the day? Great. Let's go have a happy hour drink afterwards. Hey, you smoke weed? Awesome. Great. Let's go fucking smoke some weed. The more, and look, I know that a lot of times people like to hide that shit and say, oh, that's not fucking professional. Fuck you. I make the majority of my money smoking weed, drinking alcohol, and eating food with people. Because it goes back to what I said. It's not who you know, but how you know them. If I have hung out with Jesse and we have smoked a joint in the parking lot, and Robert is the guy who met him one time that never followed up, guess who's gonna fucking get the deal? Guess who's gonna, dude, I have had situations where, once again, let's use Robert as the wholesaler, Jesse as the buyer. I have had situations where Robert approaches me and says, man, I got this deal I haven't been able to sell. I'm like, perfect. I call Jesse. Jesse, this is the deal, is right in your area. Take it. Great. I make money. I made so much money in that way. One deal that I'm thinking in particularly, I made $7,500. The next day, I send over the contract to Robert, and Robert calls me and he's like, hey, did you sell that shit to Jesse? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, dude, you know that I've tried reaching out to him 3 times and he won't respond to me?
Quality of the
Jesse
relationship.
gladly paid $7,500 more to me because he knows me. He knows that I wasn't wasting his time. He knows that I'm not full of shit. And all the other time, I'm not over like, give me, show me, which is what a lot of you guys do. Right. I spend more on like, how can I add value? And if you guys are taking notes, I want you to write this down. Always add value. Always add value. Whatever you do. Because you got to remember that everybody's tuned into the same frequency as you. Imagine that we all have a big old giant antenna sticking out of our fucking head. 1920s, Dick Tracy style. Robert, you look kind of young. You even know who the fuck Dick Tracy is? I know.
I'll imagine it though. It's all good. I get the concept. I got you. I got you.
All right, brother. So anyway, you got a fucking antenna sticking out. And it's 1920s. Beep, 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 beep. You see the fucking lightning bulb shooting out. And right down the middle in big bright lights, it says WIIFM. You have an antenna sticking out of your head, WIIFM. However, every other person around you also has an antenna, which is tuned into the exact same frequency, the exact same radio station, which is what's in it for me, WIIFM. So Jesse doesn't give a shit about how much money I want to make. Jesse gives a shit about how much money he's going to make. Because he's probably married. He probably has bills. He probably has fucking kids. He probably has his own fucking problems. He doesn't give a shit about my problems. He doesn't care for me to be like, hey, Jesse, man, I came from the hood. And, you know, like my mom was fucking on drugs and my dad was never around. And you know, like, but he doesn't give a shit about that. He's got his own fucking problems. So I'm always looking at how I can add value. The second thing that I would recommend for all you newbies is learn how to raise money. My fucking God. If I can go back and just skip every fucking thing that has to do with real estate and only learn how to raise money, even if it's not for my own deals, people will gladly cut you into their deals if you bring the money for them to do a flip, for them to buy a hold, for them to buy an apartment. And I know because I'm those fucking people. When I'm buying my apartment complexes that I have, when I bought the fucking single family houses that I have, I never bought it with any of my own fucking money. So why am I going to care if I got to cut a piece? Because my return is infinite anyway.
Regardless.
If Jesse's got the fucking money, I don't give a shit. Fuck, I mean, I would rather have a slice of the watermelon than a whole fucking grape.
I've never heard of that reference. I don't think that's a thing, man. I don't think that's a thing.
It definitely is a thing. But it's all good. That's the one thing is that, look, here's what I'm hoping for you guys to do. Okay. Is I'm hoping to teach you something that you've never heard of before. I'm hoping to teach you a concept and a way of thinking that you've never fucking thought of before. Because most of you motherfuckers are so fucking eager. Look, I'm going to show you something. What the fuck is this? Don't worry, I'm not going to get naked, guys. But I'm going to show you this right here. First tattoo, it says hustle. Now, I got that shit when I was fucking 21, 22, a young little hustler. Because just like most of you motherfuckers, I came from nothing. And I believed that the only way to make money was to bust my ass off really, 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 really hard. What I have learned, and the reason why I teach people mindset now, is it doesn't matter how hard you fucking work out there, how many doors you knock, how many phone calls you get. Now, once again, if you guys are taking notes, write this shit down. This is known as the process of manifestation. This is something that is taught in this book, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. And by the way, if you guys want the ebook for free, you can go to fucking hoopla.com, Hoopla, I believe, hoopla.com. You can actually get the audio book and the ebook for free, and a bunch of other books on there too.
Hoopla.
I don't have an affiliate link. I'm not making any money off of it. That's just something that one of my students told me about. So anyway, on there, he's got something known as the process of manifestation. And the process of manifestation states that your thoughts create your feelings. Your feelings create your actions, and your actions create your results. Let me say that again, because I'm pretty sure that most of you guys have never heard of this concept. You guys are too busy hustling out there. Your thoughts lead to your feelings. Your feelings lead to your actions. Your actions lead to your results. So I'm going to pick on Jesse over here, especially because he's bald-headed, right? And you know that's a stereotype about a bald-headed fucking Mexican. So let's just say that Jesse is 21 years old. And let's just say that Jesse has a girlfriend. And let's just say that Jesse saw a comment on her Facebook that made him think something, right? He thinks that his homie is hitting on his girlfriend. Now he thinks that, and he thinks that as he thinks that, it's going to produce an emotion, which in this case is going to be anger and jealousy. The more that he thinks about it, the more anger and jealousy it forms, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Eventually, that emotion is going to create an action. Next time you see your boy, you're like, man, fucking get your own girl, motherfucker, fucking blah, 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 and you hit that guy. That action is going to produce a result. Now you lost your friend. Now you're looking at an assault charge. Now your girlfriend is breaking up with you because you're a jealous ass motherfucker. Whatever. Your thoughts lead to your feelings lead to your actions, and your actions lead to your results. Now, most people would say, well, fuck, Jesse shouldn't have just hit that guy. Yeah. Well, what caused Jesse to hit that guy? And that's, as I said, it's known as the process of manifestation. Your inner creates your outer. If you learn how to fix your thoughts, and if you learn how to fix your feelings, your actions are pretty much irrelevant at this point. Because whatever you do just happens to work out all the fucking time. And if you guys don't know because you've never seen anybody, you're now meeting somebody who really, that's how my life is. I don't try. Have you guys ever seen Mr. Magoo? You know who Mr. Magoo is? That fucking cartoon character that was blind. He was like a detective, and he was a fucking idiot. And he was blind, and he would always he would walk off a cliff, and then a fucking train would pass by, and he would just land on top of the train. And by pure fucking accident, he would always catch the bad guy. I'm Mr. Magoo, but in business. Shit just works out for me. Things just work out for me. Even when things don't work out, they work out for me. So the point of all of this is that you guys need to start focusing on your inner game. Your thoughts and your feelings are the inner game. And this here on the book, just on the cover, so you guys see that blue letters, it says Mastering the Inner Game of Wealth. And Harv teaches us how when we have a mindset. So for example, let's go back to my tattoo, hustle, hustle. That I took that action because that was the only thing that I knew back then. As people that grew up without money, as minorities, all of our fucking heroes are dumbasses, by the way. Actors, singers,
drug lords,
people that are fucking idiots, drug dealers. As kids, we look up to drug dealers. And I would be lying to say if I didn't fucking look up to a gangster sometime, if I didn't look up to a drug dealer at some point in my life, I would be fucking lying. I grew up in the south side of LA in the town called Southgate, right across the fucking train tracks from Compton. That's where fucking Cypress Hill is from. For any of you old 90s hip hops.
I think that's where Robert's from, bro.
Yeah.
That's where I'm from.
Yeah, you're from Southgate? You see?
So, I grew up in Southgate. I grew up in South Central, born in Compton, came out of Compton to little Las Cruces.
Hey, so you know what I'm saying, that life was not easy over there.
Oh, no, not at all.
I tell you. Gangs, everything was drugs, everything was violence. Dude, I remember seeing gang fights in elementary school. I remember kids getting in fights like Stanford Elementary School, right in fucking Southgate. People, there was a little park right next to it. People fucking each other up, second, third grade, because their older brothers and sisters were affiliated with a gang. Mm-hmm. We look up to stupid people. And those people have very, very bad programming when it comes inside, when it comes to money, when it comes to saving money, when it comes to investing money. You know, we see somebody like LeBron James. He's an exception to the rule. He's an exception because he actually knows how to save his money. He knows how to invest his money. But most people end up like fucking Allen Iverson. Y'all remember that motherfucker?
Oh, dude.
Remember how much fucking money this motherfucker pissed off?
100-some mil, right?
Yep. And we all, and as ghetto street kids, we all look up to somebody like that because we've been taught that you have to hustle, 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 hustle. So if you believe that, that's your thoughts. That thought is going to force you to feel some way. I'm not working hard enough. I put in 10 hours today. That should have been 12 hours today. And then that transfers even to when you make money. You can go from making, I don't know, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year at your regular job to making six figures, and you're going to crack 100,000, and then you're going to be like, oh man, I could have, because it's not enough. I could have made 120. Oh, it's not enough. I could have made 150. Oh, it's not enough. Jesse just made 200,000. I need to make 200,000. So you start focusing on the wrong thing. And that's where really, like I said, I hope that today, because I'm sure in this group, you guys are going to get a lot of other wholesalers. You guys are going to get fix and flippers. And I've done that shit before. You're going to get people syndicating money to buy apartment complexes. You're going to get people that are doing what I'm currently doing in Ohio for my investors. And if y'all curious, you can ask me about it. But my main goal is to help you understand that it all starts with your thoughts. And in the book, Harp talks about something called your financial blueprint. And basically your financial blueprint states how much money you're going to be making. For most of you guys have made the same amount of money for the last 5 years, give or take a few $1,000, $10,000, $20,000, give and take, somewhere around there. Most people, are, for example, 30 to 50, 50 to 70, 80 to 100. They're kind of let in those things. Your financial blueprint determines how much money you're comfortable with. And that's all stems in the mind. This is all bullshit that our parents have taught us. This is all bullshit that our parents have put upon us, especially us as minorities that came from a poor upbringing. Our parents had poverty mindset. They had scarcity mindset.
Right.
Most of you guys that are starting your business, your mom's like, ay, mijo, mira, no hagas eso. Oh, no, that's so dangerous. Why don't you go get a regular job?
Every day, bro. Every day. Every day. Every time I see my mom, she still wants me to get that 9 to 5, bro.
And honestly, that's why I stopped talking to my fucking mom. Now, I still love her, and I'll say hi every once in a while, or como estás, and whatever, but I don't really spend a lot of time with her. And I limit my conversations. And if we're going to talk about anything, it's only going to be about my kids, my brother's kids, our family members, whatever. And that's it. As soon as she starts with that bullshit, I end the conversation and I say, Mom, I don't got time for this. Because I understand the process of manifestation. Her saying something is going to trigger a thought that is then going to trigger an emotion. Oh, man, she always fucking says this shit. God damn it, why can't she believe in me? Which is going to trigger an action. Fucking mom, God damn it, man, go fuck yourself. And then you're like, oh, fuck, I shouldn't have said that. But now she's already upset. Now the damage has already been done. It all starts internally. Now, I know that you guys are in this group because you want to do real estate. And I understand that most of you guys want to do real estate because you think that you want to make a lot of money. And I understand what I just said, that you think that you want to make a lot of money. And I'm going to tell you the truth. You don't really want a lot of money. You want whatever you think that money is going to get you. And in reality, you don't even want what you think that money is going to get you. You want the feeling that you think you're going to get when you have that money. So if you have a big old heart on for getting a fucking Lambo because you saw some jack off on fucking YouTube saying, I'm a mentor, check out my Lambo. That's fine. You can work your ass off and you can get that Lambo. You're not really after the Lambo itself. You're after the feeling that you think you're going to get from that Lambo, of being viewed as successful, of being able to shit on the people that talk shit about you, on being able to fucking impress the girl that you want to impress, or whatever bullshit fucking story you have in your head. And when you chase money, it's never going to be enough. Like I said, I know y'all motherfuckers love those rap songs, Nipsey Hussle and everybody. Yeah, I grind and I hustle all fucking day. Me too. That's why I fucking got all this shit. The second tattoo was across this side of my chest. It says grind. I wanted, and I did that on purpose because I wanted to look at myself in the mirror every day and remind me to grind and hustle. But now I look at that as such a limiting mindset. Because if you believe, once again, if you believe that you have to work hard to make money, your results and your actions will always be to work hard to make money. And you will never, ever, 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 ever learn how to make money without busting your fucking ass. And it may make sense to you right now because you're in your 20s, you're in your 30s. But guess what? When you're in your 50s, 60s, and 70s, you still want to be out there fucking door knocking. You still want to be chasing fucking sellers. You still want to be chasing buyers. You still want to be at the fucking closing table negotiating deals? Y'all see my background this way, right over there? That is on purpose a globe. This right over here is a scratch-off map of the different places that I've been in this world.
Wow.
I purposely focus on freedom. Now, money will provide me freedom, but I don't chase after money. I chase after freedom because it makes me feel better. I don't have to worry about shit going on, which is why I moved into multifamily, and then eventually multifamily was okay, but it wasn't really what I wanted it. So I moved into single family, and I specifically moved into single family rentals to create notes, because as the note, I become the bank, and the bank doesn't worry about shit. I will gladly lend Jesse the money. Let that motherfucker deal with the fucking tenants. Let that motherfucker deal with the roof. Let that motherfucker, I don't care if he's rented or not. You still owe me rent. You still owe me a mortgage payment, bitch. So I'm switching that because I got fucking kids. I like spending time with my kids. I love fucking traveling. 2020 has been an amazing year for my business. It's been a horrible year for my soul in the sense of I haven't been able to fucking travel. And I was supposed to go to fucking Africa, bro. I was going to fly from here to the Philippines, from the Philippines to Ghana, and from Ghana back to the States. So it was going to be my first time literally circling the fucking globe. But, you know, we'll have to do it once they open up the fucking skies.
Hey, what was the plan out there? What would y'all just to visit, bro? Safari, the whole nine, the normal stuff.
Man. So guys, please understand, play chess, not checkers. Now, of course, I want to go to Africa because I'm an explorer and I'm a traveler. But I purposely chose the country of Ghana because that's where a good friend of mine, Jay, is at. Now, Jay is a guy that I met on social media, networking, like I tell you. A lot of people love to be like, oh, social media is so negative. Not mine. Social media is so full of drama. Not mine. You know, you get to choose who the fuck you're friends with. You know, even if it's like a family member who you can't fucking stand all their stupid political shit, you can unfollow those motherfuckers so they don't get all butthurt because you offended them. Like, it's not, you're not forced to talk to these motherfuckers. Anyway, through that process of just eliminating people that just are stupid, in my opinion, I started meeting really awesome people. Jay was a guy who was a real estate investor. He grew up in the south side of Chicago. If anybody knows Chicago, the south side is the worst part of Chicago. Anyway, he grew up over there in that area. Eventually, he started doing Forex. Eventually, he just got really tired of being a black guy in America and said, fuck it, I'm going to take my fucking family out to Africa. And he moved to Zimbabwe. Now, he's been in Africa for like 5-6 years, and he lived in Zimbabwe for 4 of them, and now he's going on his 2nd year in Uganda or Ghana. Where Uganda, that's where it's at. It's on the east side of Africa. Anyway, this guy has bought land that he's now mining for gold. This guy has created a partnership with the government to farm susap and jackfruit, which can be used for medicinal purposes. And he actually created he was trying to roll the cannabis stuff, ended up not working out for him, so created a hemp farm that he's going to be doing a bunch of things. And he tells me all the time, the opportunities there are fucking crazy. So yes, I'm going to go to safari. Yes, I'm going to explore little villages. Yes, I'm going to get to freaking, you know, explore the culture and get to go to fucking Africa. But I'm furthering my relationship. And when I tell you guys, it's not who you know, but how you know him. If I fly out to fucking Africa and you don't, guess whose phone call he's fucking answering? Guess who he's thinking about first? Guess who he's lending money to? It all starts with that, man. It all starts. And once again, guys, don't not focus on the money. The money will come. You need to focus on your mind. You need to focus on your thoughts. Because most of you have very shitty thoughts. Now, if you're not part of my Facebook group at Unfuck Your Mindset Community, I would highly encourage you guys to join. It's a free Facebook group. And literally all we're doing there is helping people unfuck their mind. And if you like my style, go to unfuckyourmindset.com and you can actually get access to the first lesson of my program. I'm about to do a launch on the 1st of July for an online program, which I basically show people how to unfuck their mindset. So if you go to unfuckyourmindset.com, you can actually get the first month, the first lesson for free, and you see if this is something that you want to invest in or not. Anyway, on the Unfuck Your Mindset community, I literally made a post yesterday about be careful how you talk to yourself because you're paying attention. And most of you talk to yourself really bad. Most of you treat yourself like idiots. Most of you cuss at yourself. I'm so fucking stupid. How come I don't have the deals here like this? How come I don't have that? I don't have enough money like here. I'm struggling to pay my bills. I'm such a blah, blah, blah. I can't believe I'm this old and blah, blah, blah. All day fucking long, stupid bullshit coming in and out of your mind. Your thoughts primarily are stupid bullshit. Out of the 60,000 thoughts that a human being has on a regular day, it's projected that 98% of those are stupid or negative or disempowering.
So, I mean, what do you do to fix that, man? Is it go to Tony Robbins conferences, man? Therapy? What sort of fixed that for you, man? Because I'm assuming it was a journey for you to get there, right? It didn't happen overnight.
Yeah, well, it's always a journey. Anything that's worth it is not going to be easy. It's going to take time to get there. And to be quite honest with you, I'm still on that journey. It's a never ending journey because you're constantly having to battle yourself. The biggest thing that I learned is, first and foremost, I was put onto this book called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by a guy named Dr. Joseph Murphy.
Okay.
And the reason why I like that book is because he came from a very scientific perspective. Now, the book that I had, and I haven't seen these yet because I recommended this book to a few people, but the book that I had, the last fourth had all the references. Basically, he said this is where, because he would say the study, blah, 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 and then at the end of the book, he would actually tell you what university, what study. I just found it to be more credible. Anyway, he talked about how your mind controls everything, how your subconscious controls everything. He used the metaphor of a submarine, and your subconscious is the engine in the submarine. Now, your subconscious can't see what's going on. It gets fed information from your conscious, which in this case is the periscope, you know, that little thing that you fucking look around on the submarine. But the engine, what's actually driving you forward, is in your subconscious. So that was my first inclination to that. Then I met my teacher, Mr. Jeff Pagan. And guess where the fuck I met him? At a networking event. And I networked with him. Yeah. And he invited me to his group. And guess what, guys? I actually fucking showed up. And I actually fucking paid attention.
Yeah.
And we started studying this book. And it's been 10 years since I've been studying Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. And what I like about this book is that he tells you, as I mentioned, the process of manifestation or whatever. He teaches you that your mind creates everything, your financial blueprint. So if you want to change, it doesn't matter the amount of action that you take. If you have a shitty financial blueprint, you will continue to get shitty results. That's just the way that it is. So then he goes over what he likes to call wealth files. And he teaches 17 wealth files, how rich people think differently than poor people. And wealth file number 1 says, rich people believe I create my life. Poor people believe life happens to me. And this right here, you can see this going on in real life right now with the coronavirus.
Yeah.
Rich people say, I create my life. I decide if this shit's gonna make me or break me. Poor people are like, oh, fuck, the coronavirus is here. I don't know what to do. Poor me, poor me.
Where's my $1,200 check?
Right?
Yeah.
And the thing is that there's 17 different ways that he has pointed out that we think differently, rich people, than poor or middle class people. Because as I mentioned before, it all starts with your thoughts. Every single thing starts with your thoughts. How much money you can make, how much money you can handle. I mean, there's a lot of you guys that say, oh, I want the whatever. What would you do right now if you got a deal under contract that you needed to close in 30 days for over 7 figures, so over $1 million? Would you feel comfortable right now? Or would you be like, oh my God, fuck. That's your financial blueprint. That shit controls every single thing. And later on in the book, he adds that your programming produces your thoughts. Because if your thoughts produce your feelings and your feelings produce your actions, and your actions produce your results, then what's producing your thoughts, which is your programming. And you're programmed by what you heard growing up, what you saw growing up, and what you experienced growing up. So if you saw your parents struggle with money all the time, you believe that you must work hard to make money. If you heard that rich people are fucking greedy, rich people are crooks, you have to be doing something wrong, well, guess what? Deep down inside, you believe it. Even if you don't admit that you believe it, deep down inside, you believe it, and that shit always holds you back. This is why most of you motherfuckers, and I don't even know you guys, I don't even know you, but I can guarantee you that most of you motherfuckers are your own worst enemy. I can guarantee you that y'all have fucked up a deal or something, a relationship or something because of your own fucking stupidity. Not for nobody else. Nobody else did anything. I know you want to blame somebody else. But the reality is that you chose that motherfucker. You chose to sleep with that guy knowing that he was a fucking deadbeat. You chose to fucking get with that girl knowing that she was a fucking sucia. That's what the fuck you get, motherfucker. But most people don't like accepting that responsibility of saying, hey, this is all stems from me.
Okay. So really quickly, man, someone just popped up with a question and it's perfect, dude. It sort of rolls right into this, man. So with that being said, man, a lot of people are growing up with this messed up background, sort of screwed up their programming. The question is, so how do you suggest someone change their blueprint, you know, going from this jacked up deal to the freedom, at least.
So in the book, he lays out something called the 4 steps to change, which I like to call the 4 steps to reprogramming. Step number 1 is awareness. You must be aware that there's a problem. So if you don't even know that you have a fucked up programming, then you're never even going to try to fix it. So number 1's awareness. Number 2 is understanding. Understand how this thing is controlling your life, how it was put by there, and how it has controlled your thoughts, your emotions, and your results up to this point. So for example, let's go back to fucking Jesse. His mom's like, don't do that. This is dangerous. You know, you should go get a regular job. Business is very bouncy. Look at what happened to Tia, Sophia, whatever. Tia, Sophia, that sounds fucking funny. Anyway, now Jesse here is hearing this for the first time, and step number 1, he becomes aware. Oh man, yeah, fuck. You know what? Yeah, I did get this programming coming from other. Step number 2 is he now starts to understand. Well, fuck. You know, because she did say that I am very cautious. That makes me scared. I don't take the steps, and because I was scared, I lost this one deal. Because I was scared, I missed out on this partnership. Because I was scared, whatever. Step number 3 is disassociation. You have to learn how to disassociate yourself from those beliefs. And I'm going to tell you right now, disassociation is the hardest one out of all these. Because y'all don't want to disassociate from your old friends. You don't want to disassociate from your loved ones. You don't want to disassociate from your coworkers, from the homies, from the people that you've known, my A1 since day one. Fuck them. If they're not fucking helping you, they can go fucking kiss your ass. And I mean that in every single way possible. But most of you won't. Most of you are going to be like, well, fuck, me and Jesse been homies since forever. And I know every time he comes around, he just complains and bitches about how shitty his job is. But, you know, I understand him. I mean, I was there before and you know, you got to put up. No, you're letting this process continue. You're letting him share his bullshit, which is then is going to go into your thoughts, is going to go into your feelings, to your results. And more than anything, is going to help reaffirm that old programming that you have learned before. Disassociation is one of the hardest things that you're ever going to be asked to do. Stop talking to your friends that don't benefit you. Stop dating that guy or girl that doesn't make you better. I don't care how long you've been with them. I don't care how good they are in bed. I don't care how good looking they are. If they don't benefit you, fuck them. That goes for business associates. That goes for people that you listen to online, people that you follow on social media, any of this shit. And step number 4 is reprogramming. Now, I can tell you, as I did in the first module, rich people believe that I create my life. Poor people believe that life happens to me. I can tell you that. But if you don't disassociate, you're never going to be able to stick the new programming in. If you don't remove and delete that old programming in your computer. Because imagine if you have a robot, and in the robot, the programming is fucked up. And every time that you press right, it goes left. And every time that you press left, it goes right. They just cross their fucking wires. That's in the programming. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter how much you talk to the fucking thing, how much you bash that fucking control. It's in the wiring. If you don't go back and disassociate, disconnect, and then recondition, reprogram, which is add the right step, you're never going to be able to. So that's how you go. Now, as anything that's worth it It's a lot easier said than done.
Nice,
It's
man.
way easier said than done. Okay, I understand. Step number one, I got to be aware, check. Step number two, I got to understand. All right, let me think a little bit about that. Step number three, I got to disassociate. I don't really know if I want to do that. Guess what? You can't get to step number three if you don't do step number four. And as I mentioned, in a lot of my students, private students, coaching students, most of the time it's number three, disassociating, not only with people, but with beliefs and thoughts, mainly because those beliefs and thoughts came from people that you loved and respected, like your mom, like your dad, like your grandma, like your cousins, like your uncle, like your teacher, like your religious leader. Those people put this shit in your mind. So in order for you to let that new programming in, like I said, I can give you all the new programming, but it's not going to be worth the shit. You guys can watch all the YouTube videos you want, and you guys can go to all the conferences you want, and you guys can high five motherfuckers all day long. It doesn't mean anything if you can't disassociate with those old way of thinking. And that's why because if we have a lot of newbies here, most of you guys are focused on getting money. The only thing worse than going down the wrong road is going down the wrong road enthusiastically, thinking that you want the fucking Lambo. So you bust your fucking ass and you sacrifice your friends, you sacrifice your family, you sacrifice your happiness, you sacrifice your sleep just to find out that you're too goddamn tall for a fucking Lambo. Yeah, you're 6'2" and fucking those things are made for somebody who's 5'10".
I hear you. All right, man. Check it out. Well, let me get to the next question, brother. And it's directly for you. Like, what was your biggest setback? This one's from my wife, bro, Stephanie.
Okay.
What was your biggest setback when starting, man? And would you say that was your mindset?
Yes, my biggest setback when starting was my mindset, because I believed that I couldn't flip a house unless I had money. I honestly believed that I needed to do enough wholesale deals so I can save up money so then I can go flip a house. I wasn't aware that you can leverage people. Eventually, the first flip that I did, I got it from a individual that I got the money from an individual that knew me, and she said, "We'll do a 50-50 split. I'll provide the money for the purchase and the rehab, and then we'll just split the profits." Then eventually, I met somebody who's like, "Well, why are you doing that? She's letting you borrow $150,000. With that same $150,000, I can flip 4 houses instead of 1 house. I get a hard money loan, and then I will use their money as what's known as gap funding, and they'll pay their shit." Even though I knew that, I didn't do that for a while because I was scared to get a hard money loan. I was really not confident. It all came from the mindset. Look, guys, from when I went to having no deals to getting my first deal, it was all up here. I truly believed that I was worthy enough to get it because I had put in the work. But for whatever reason, I thought that in the back, I needed to put in the fucking work. So my mind made that a reality. When I went from wholesaling to wholesaling without putting out any marketing whatsoever, and I did that, I had successfully wholesaled for close to 5 years without ever putting out a fucking bandit sign, a piece of mail, none of that
Purely
shit.
networking.
Purely networking. So then when I went from that to fixing and flipping, when I went from fixing and flipping 1 house at a time to flipping 15 houses at a time, when I went from flipping houses to buying apartment complexes, when I went from buying apartment complexes in my state to buying one out of my state, when I went from moving to that to moving into a whole different section, it's all been up here. It's all been whether I believe that I can do it. And remember, guys, if you don't believe that you can, it's not going to happen. If you believe that you have to struggle and you have to hustle and you have to grind and you have to outwork the next person, that's what it's going to be like for you.
Right on, brother. Well, all right. Well, here's the next question, man. And this one's from Ruben, who helps us run the collaborative on the New Mexico side, bro. So he's asking, do you think a strong why helps you to, I guess, disassociate, get away from the negative?
Yes, definitely. You got to understand, and I gave you guys a warning that the hardest part for you is going to be disassociation. And you know why that is? It's because that requires change. It's real easy for you to come to this meeting. It's real easy for you to shake your fucking head. Hell yeah. It's real easy for you to type on the comments, man, this is shit straight fire. VP's the man. You can even be writing notes. But the problem comes when it requires you to make change. And that's where people don't do it. The biggest way that you can remind yourself as to why you need to make that change is your why. And this is why I reminded you, and I told you guys from the beginning, focus on the freedom, because freedom is worth so much more than money. I was hanging out in Mexico, 2-3 years ago, man. One of my personal mentors, Ed the Cuban guy, fucking amazing guy. And because I believe to buy the steak, not the sizzle, most of you guys buy the sizzle, not the steak. That's why you're all excited when some motherfucker that you follow on Facebook, some guy that you see on Instagram, some guy that you see on YouTube who's got a course and you're like, yeah, that guy's the man. I actually go with the people that are really doing this shit, that are actually happy. So I'm hanging out with this guy in his estate over in Merida, Mexico, and we're chilling out. And he was like, man, you know what, Brian? I don't do vision boards. I don't do affirmations. I don't do goals. I don't do none of that shit. He's like, I got 3 things that I want. I want financial freedom, I want time freedom, and I want peace of mind. Those are all freedom, guys. Financial freedom. I want to have enough money to do whatever the fuck I want to do, when the fuck I want to do it. Time freedom. I want to have the time. What's the point to have a fucking $100 million in the bank if you can't fucking do shit, if you're too busy, if you got appointments and phone calls all day long? I was hanging out with one guy that I know for a fact most of you motherfuckers look up to, and I'm not going to name drop. I was hanging out in his office because I fucking helped him out when he was barely fucking starting. I told him, fucking stop flipping. You're shitty. You're horrible at flipping. Focus on wholesaling. And now he's killing it nationwide. Anyway, I was hanging out in his office. His phone didn't stop ringing. And I was like, oh, hell no, bro. I don't fucking like your life. I don't want none of this shit. Time freedom, peace of mind. Do you really want that big office with 100 employees? Do you think that's really going to give you peace of mind? Do you think if you buy 100 doors without a system and you don't know how to run it and you don't know how to manage them, that's going to give you peace of mind? If I give you $1 million out of my bank account and I put it in your bank account, is that going to give you peace of mind? And the reality is no. So to answer that question, the why is the most important tool that you have in order to change that, in order to start disassociation. Because as soon as you start, your mind is gonna fight you. It's gonna try to distract you. It's gonna make you focus on this. It's gonna make you focus on that. All of a sudden you're tired. All of a sudden you don't want to do this. You're distracted. But if you focus on your why, hey, I want freedom. I want financial freedom. I want to be able to hang out with my wife. I want to be able to hang out with my kids. You know, my son is 2 years old and this little motherfucker is all over the place and he's exploring, and I like, and this is for reals. When I have my son, that motherfucker wakes up around 8 or so, 8:30. I like waking up with him. I play, joke around. He wants to see his shows. I make breakfast, feed him, clean him, fucking do his hair, brush his teeth. By the time that I'm done doing all that shit, it's like 10:30. I then decide if I want to work that day or not. If I feel like walking to the park with my boy. And that, guys, is worth more than fucking money. Your why. So when you're deciding what your why is, make sure that that's really what your why is. And I would show you, in order for you to find your why, ask why. So, okay, well, this is my why. Okay, well, why is that important to you? Well, why is that important to you? Well, why is that important to you? And eventually you'll come down to the root of what your why is. And once again, for me, it was the ability to have freedom. It was the ability to have enough money to do whatever the fuck I want to do whenever the fuck I want to. Have enough time. I can chill. This is my day. This is my day. If we go over the 6:30 mark, I don't give a shit. I got nowhere to fucking be at. I'm chilling. My life is cool. My life was COVID before COVID was COVID. I chilled at home. I relaxed. People drop off weed in my house. The business meetings happen here. I was doing shit on the fucking thing. I have mobile notaries. If I ever do a deal here in Phoenix, They come to me.
Oh.
All my other shit I'm doing via fucking DocuSign. I don't leave my fucking house unless I fucking want to. That is freedom, guys. And that right there is a much, much bigger motivator when it starts with the bullshit. I don't want to change. Let's go back to the way that it is. Let's stay in your comfort zone. It's so fucking comfortable in there. Don't change me. You don't want to look at that. Why don't you go fucking go see what celebrity is doing that doesn't fucking matter anyway.
Gotcha, man. I'm gonna get back to that because there's something that's conflicting in my mind, like a battle, you know.
Sure.
Like, but let me get to Alexis's question. She's asking, what made you focus on that Cleveland market, right? Like, you're in Phoenix, man. There's a bunch of other stuff around you. Why Cleveland? And then also a follow up is, what was there particular clues you looked for before jumping in?
Mm-hmm. So remember what I told you guys? I'm Mr. Magoo.
Right.
The guy that just bumbles and fumbles and happens to just fucking fall into shit. Well, I just literally fell into Cleveland. Now, I already knew that I needed to go to Cleveland, or not Cleveland particularly, but the Midwest. And I didn't really even want to go to Cleveland because I had heard from multiple people that Cleveland was a shit show, that the whole city of Cleveland was bad, that it was junky, that it was dirty. I just like any other fucking town, there's certain places of town that are like that. For the most part, I did not find that to be true. Nonetheless, I decided that I needed to focus on what it is that I really want. When I went to go hang out with Ed, the Cuban guy over in fucking Mexico, and he told me what he told me, it blew my mind. Then the motherfucker looked at me and he's like, hey, Brian, just so you know, man, life is really, really simple, but we choose to complicate it. So I started looking at my business and I said, yes, you know what? It is complicated. I'm running 15 flips at a time right now, and I fucking hate the first of the month. I dread the first of the month. I got to cut my checks to the lenders, to my hard money person, to the utilities. I fucking hate the fucking first of the month. I fucking hate it. I don't like that. That's not peaceful to me. So I said, I need to switch up my strategy. I need to start buying and holding properties. As I started looking at to where and buy hold properties, I kept on getting pulled back to the Midwest. There was people that live here in Arizona that were doing stuff in Illinois, people that were doing stuff in Indiana, people that were doing stuff in Wisconsin, people that were doing stuff in Ohio. And I kept on asking these people why, and they said that you can buy a property for X amount and you can rent it for X amount, and you can't do that here. So, for example, in the Phoenix market, a regular C-class neighborhood, which is not the war zone, but your regular hood, your regular fucking blue collar working place.
Lower middle class, yeah.
I have one called Maryville. To get a house in Maryville, you're gonna spend to 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, 1,500 square feet. You're gonna spend about $250,000 or something like that.
Okay.
I'm only gonna be able to rent that bitch for $1,400 on the high side, $1,500. Let's just call it $1,500 because it makes the numbers easier.
Yeah,
I can take that same $250,000 and buy 5 houses in fucking Cleveland at $50,000 each, and each one of these motherfuckers is paying me $700 a month. Now multiply that, 700 times 5, that's $3,500 a month.
Versus
if I'm lucky, I'm gonna get $1,500 in Phoenix for the same $250,000, or I can get $3,500 for the same $250,000. That is when I started realizing, man, there's a shit ton of opportunity out here. And because most people are scared, just like you motherfuckers, because most of you motherfuckers like to double dutch. I'm about to go in, okay, right now. Okay, let's jump in. Okay, well, maybe later. Okay, the coronavirus. Oh, it's my birthday at the end of the year. Every fucking time y'all motherfuckers have a fucking excuse. All day, every day, got a fucking excuse. So when I started looking at that, I was like, man, the Midwest is where it's at. Ohio seems to be the state that I want to. And I was that person. I was double dutching. I was like, okay, right now, maybe a little bit later. Well, I traveled to the Philippines. I come back and my business partner, Chris, says, hey man, I just bought 3 houses in fucking Cleveland. Somebody sent me an email. The numbers were stupid, ridiculous. They already have a renter in place. We'll figure it out. But I just spent whatever amount of money and I bought 3 of them. And at that point, I was like, all right, well, I guess I fucking stumbled into this shit. So now let's make it happen. So what I did was I actually flew out to Cleveland. And guess what the fuck I did, guys? I networked. I leveraged my social media and I said, hey, I shit you fucking not. I booked my ticket and I had no plans. I didn't know who I was meeting. I didn't know where I was going, other than I was going to go check out our 3 houses that we had. That was my only fucking plan.
What'd you end up leaving there with?
Say what?
What'd you end up leaving with there? That's what you showed
I
up
ended
with.
up leaving with all kinds of connections. I ended up meeting my GC, who has been the biggest blessing of our fucking our venture out there. He's born and raised in Cleveland. Not only is he a GC, he's a highly educated man, and he's also an investor himself. Very well networked, so he knows. Every time I bring him a deal, hey, so and so, oh, that's not his deal, man. That's so and so's deal. That motherfucker's been sitting on his shit for 5 months. There's no way in hell that you should pay that price. Whatever. He's been the best, but guess how I met him, guys? Through networking. I put on my Instagram stories. I'm going to be in Cleveland. Any investors, wholesalers, or anybody involved in real estate investing, buying and holding wants to meet up, let me know. Charles sent me a message. We met up for lunch. We got along very well. He's like, you should meet this guy. You should talk to that guy. You should meet up with so-and-so. And that's how it all happened. Oh. Once I had that, I had my structure in place. I had wholesalers, I had title companies, I had my fucking GC who was running all my stuff and checking out all my properties for me and telling me if I'm paying correctly and letting me know. Fuck. And it all came from networking. So to answer your question, I kind of fumbled into this because I needed that extra push. And I'm here to let you guys know that if you guys are in that zone, just take that leap, take a calculated risk, take a small risk. That's what Chris did, because he's like, fuck, dude, we can't lose on these properties. Worst case scenario, I could put them on the market and sell them for this because that's how much they're worth. But fuck, we're collecting the rents anyway. So that's what happened. And then I created the structure by networking. I purposely met, and I want you guys to understand, birds of a feather flock together. If you're a good stand-up guy, chances are you know other good stand-up people. Chances are that you don't deal with bullshit people, that you don't deal with people that are gonna lie, cheat, and steal if you're an upfront guy. If you're a piece of shit guy and I'm like, fuck it, man, I don't care. I want to do fucking money. I want to make money. Then all of a sudden you get stuck down that pile, and that's how people lose their ass.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, man. All right, Brian. So the next question is from Bo, bro. He wants to know, what was your biggest mistake specifically in real estate, man, and what have you learned from it?
My biggest mistake came from, I'll talk about this here in just 1 second. So I was flipping my very first house. The lady, as I mentioned, let me borrow the money to purchase and rehab the property. There was another deal that fell into my lap that I was like, man, this shit's easy peasy. We'll make it happen. Now the deal had a bankruptcy in place. And I found the buyer, and the buyer said, I'll buy it, but I won't buy it with the bankruptcy in place. So I called the title company. I talked to the title company, and they said, yeah, you know what? Here's what we can do is we can actually insure because of what was going on and the way the deal was structured and how long everything had happened. More than likely, like all the previous mortgage companies were non-existent. The people were deceased. There was no way in hell that they were going to get sued.
One of those.
So they said, hey, well, we can do this, but we can't do that. So you need to buy the deal, close it with us, and then take it to another company that will allow that. I had a buyer whose title company would allow that. And they said, yeah, no, we're all good. We'll buy it with that. It was the bankruptcy and something else. I forget what the fuck it was. Anyway, I took the money that was allocated for my flip. It was like $40,000 or so. And I took from the rehab budget and I went to go buy this deal because in my mind, I was going to have this shit sold in 2 or 3 days. No harm, no foul. I make an extra fucking 10K, move on to my shit. The first title company did what they were supposed to do. They were able to close the deal on their end. The second title company decided that once I bought it, that they changed their mind and they were no longer going to insure it against a bankruptcy. So now I had a property that had a bankruptcy that I couldn't fucking sell because I thought that these things were going to close. I was counting my chickens before they hatched.
Wow.
Had I known now, I wouldn't have done it unless those things were going simultaneously. Now, I had told my investor that. She had fronted me the money for the deal because I told her it was going to take it. We were drawing it out of the thing. So she had fronted me the money for the deal because I had told her that it was going to take me 2 or 3 days to get the money back. Now I have to approach her and tell her, hey, this shit didn't work out. And she's like, what? And she's fucking pissed. And what the fuck are you doing? I actually had that money because we weren't gonna need that 40,000 for about another 3 weeks or so. So she already had that money allocated for her own deal that she was gonna quickly flip.
Right.
So that shit, dude, she was harassing me and hounding me every single day. I fucking called every single person that I could think of who was involved in real estate. Every realtor, every loan officer, every investor, every wholesaler, every title company. And if they didn't know the answer, I would always ask them, well, who do you know who may know this answer? And I called and called and called and called and called. It didn't look like it was going to get solved. And I'm promising this lady, and I had no money at this point. She was the first one. I didn't even have a valuable car that I could sell to at least pay her back some of the money. I didn't have shit. So I go and I can't sleep. I'm stressing. I decide that I need to go to Costco to do some fucking grocery shopping. And while I'm walking, I see this fucking bottle of Moet. And I buy it and I say, you know what? I'm going to pop that bitch when I solve this problem because I am going to solve this problem. I went from having a victim mindset. This is bullshit. The fucking title company, they fucked me over. If it wasn't for the second title company, that was my story. That was my story for the first 2 weeks. If it wasn't for this other title company telling me this, I would have never bought it. It's their fault that I'm fucking losing money. But no, it was my fault. It was my fault for doing this shit, not having it actually worked out. So anyway, I decided to focus on how I was going to fix it. I sat this bottle on my desk and I looked at this motherfucker every fucking day. About 3-4 days later, I get a phone call from a previous title company that I had talked to, who said that they couldn't help me and said, hey, I just talked to blah, 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 my underwriting company, and they said that they can make it happen. So we got the deal done. I popped the fucking bottle. We got that shit. I made my 10 grand. And once again,
the same bottle?
That is the same bottle. I keep it for
Wow.
memory's sake. And I also still have the cork over there.
Wow.
Because I want to remind myself that I'm capable of solving any problem. Week number 2 of things of me calling every single person, exhausting every single resource that I had, and there was no solution in sight. Dude, I felt hopeless. I felt like there was nothing I could fucking do. And I was so angry at myself, and that's my friend, and how could I do this to my friend? And I'm fucking up her business. Like, fuck, man, I felt like the biggest piece of shit. So when I decided to change my mindset, shift my mindset as to stop focusing on what I don't have, start focusing on what I do have, understanding that I create my life, not the other way around. That's when things just kind of popped up. The thing has, and so this is a reminder for me that regardless of how impossible the problem seems, I can make it happen, and I can figure it out.
Wow, bro. Great story, bro. Great story, man. I think one last thing. I don't see any more questions in the chat right now, man. But I think for me personally, man, it like this contradiction, right? Like can you have like everything and not work hard, right? The whole idea about hard work, right? Can you have a great life? Can you have friends? Can you have a great marriage, right? Without all the work to get that freedom, right? Or at least financial freedom so that you can get there. Does that make sense?
Yes, and you're focusing on the wrong thing. You're focusing on, so people look at me, my mom, all the fucking time. Ay, mijo, tú eres muy huevón. And I am the first to admit I fucking hate working. I'm really good worker. I come from a good place. My parents, my dad specifically taught me good work ethics, but I don't particularly like to work, especially labor work and shit like that. Like, I don't like to physically do work. So anyway, I bring that up because people don't understand that I'm working all day, every day. It's just I'm working up here. And people, because most people only focus on the action, most people only focus on what I'm doing. That's why you have all you stupid motherfuckers, and you've seen them. I guarantee you, bro. I guarantee you. I promise you this is going to happen 4th of July. Some jack off on your fucking Facebook profile while everybody's relaxing. I'm over here making it happen.
Yeah, for damn sure.
Fuck you. While you're over there making it happen, I'm chilling, having sex on a fucking at 12 o'clock on a Wednesday afternoon, smoking blunts, getting fucking drunk, and I'm making more money than you, bitch. So I'm looking for here, and I can't seem to find what well file it is. I completely forgot which one it is. But basically, one of the well files here says, rich people believe that they can have both. Poor people believe that it's going to be one or the other. Poor people believe I'm going to have to sacrifice my relationships to make it. I'm going to have to sacrifice my spirituality because the Bible said that it's fucking easier for a camel to get through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich person to get to fucking heaven. So you start thinking that way. Guess what? That's going to be true for you. If you believe that you can't have it both, if you believe, and once again, the shit that you're saying, Jesse, I can tell you why you're saying this. Because that's what your fucking daddy taught you. That's what your mama taught you. That's what all the people around you taught you. And they look at it and mira, este es muy trabajador. Look at my man. The women in the Latin community brag about their men, about how hard they work. Yeah. Not, hey, look at my dude, so fucking smart. He's able to make money without having to fucking lift a finger. Because in our community, we look down at that people. When we were poor and we drove by a rich house, you'd be like, that motherfucker probably sells drugs. That fucking person, they had to steal from somebody. Fucking rich white boy. His daddy probably left him a whole bunch of money. We didn't know shit. We didn't know this to be true. We just made it up in our head. So if you believe that it's a contradiction, and it will be a contradiction, there will always be struggle. And no amount of money, no amount of deals, no amount of books, no amount of nothing is going to cure that shit. You have to learn to be within the balance. Now, you guys can see my little boot over here. I got another boot over there. I'm highly into meditation. And the reason why I'm into meditation is because I focus on finding my balance. I focus on understanding. And one of the examples that I like to use is the Chinese yin and yang signal. And if you see the Chinese yin and yang signal, it's a circle, but it's not just cross the side. It's actually this part bleeds into this part, and this part bleeds into that part. So the black bleeds into the white, and the white bleeds into the black. And in the yin yang sign, so you know what the signs look. There's a circle right here. There's a circle right there. Let's say the bottom part is white. There's a black circle inside the white section, and there's a white circle inside the black section. Because you need to find that balance. And remember, if your goal is to make money, you'll make that money, but it's going to come at a cost. And I always remind people to think about something. At what cost? Yes, you can build a big 6-figure business, 7-figure business. You can build a team of 20 cold callers. You can hire closing and this and that and fly from place to place. At what cost? What's that going to do for your fucking kids in that relationship? What's that going to do for your wife, your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend in that relationship? What's that going to do for your own personal relationship with God, or your own personal relationship with yourself and your own happiness? So many people that I meet are killing it and making a shit ton of money, and they fucking hate themselves. That's not where you want to be. Because remember what I told you guys, the only thing worse than going down the wrong road is going down the wrong road enthusiastically, thinking that you want something like that Lambo that I used as an example, just to come to find out that it fucking sucks. It doesn't ride good. It doesn't feel comfortable. It's actually $5,000 to get a fucking tune-up or some shit. And you're like, fuck that. Fuck, I didn't know that beforehand. The only thing worse than going down the wrong road is going down the wrong road enthusiastically. So, Jesse, if you believe that you have to work hard to make money, guess what? You have to work hard to make money.
Yeah, dude. Amazing answer, bro. Thank you, man. We got another question coming in, brother.
Sure.
So how long did it take you to get where you felt you were financially free, man? Time free, all the freedoms you mentioned, right? Financially free, time free, and peace of mind free. And did you have a plan in place or goal of income to reach, I guess, before you got there?
Yes. So how long it's taken most of my fucking career. I am at the place now where I finally reached financial freedom fucking at the end of last year. And just so you guys know, my definition of financial freedom is having enough passive residual income. So that means you're not working for that money coming in to pay your bills.
Okay.
Now, if my focus was to get to the point where I was financially free, I understood that it's a lot easier to make $4,000 a month than it is to make $10,000 a month residually. I can do that quicker. Now, I had to lower and scale back my lifestyle. And I want you guys to understand, focus on how your life feels, not what it looks like. Focus on being rich, not looking rich. Don't worry about having that fucking Lambo and that fucking Mercedes because you want to shit on these motherfuckers that talk shit about you when you were a kid. Fuck them. Focus on how you feel. So when I started focusing on what it is that I felt and how it is that I wanted to, I was able to clarify what it was that I wanted. And it just made the whole process that much simpler. It made the process so much easier because I just had what it was right there.
Wow, man. So I'm gonna skip one of the questions. I'm gonna save that for the last one, man.
Sure.
So now looking back, brother, what would you do different to reach this goal, that goal that you were just talking about faster, man?
Well, as I said, I did the thing that I did that really helped me was understanding that I needed to scale back my lifestyle. Because what happens is that most of you guys start off broke, then you start making money. You've never even nobody in your family has ever made 10 grand a month, and now you're making 10 grand a month regularly. Well, guess what? Now you start spending a lot more. Now you're going out to dinner a lot more. Now you're buying from the top shelf instead of the bottom shelf. Now you went from fucking eating McDonald's every day for lunch to now you got to go down to a nice steakhouse. You got to come here. You got to wear this type of clothes. You got to drive this type of car. So that really helped shorten down the curve. And that was really hard for me to do because for the longest point of my career, I was always like, I came from nothing. I deserve this. I deserve to spend money and splurge on myself. And I come to find out that I was really just shooting myself on the foot. And every single year I went through the same cycle because I had the same fucking, the same type of financial blueprint. So if I were to look back, as I said, focus on that and then focus on passive income. I want you guys to write this down if you're taking notes. What I focus on expands. what I focus on expands. Most of you motherfuckers are only focusing on making money. Well, guess what? You make money, but then you lose money. You spend money. You waste money. You
Excuse
spend it
you.
on stupid shit. So you need to focus from the beginning. Instead of focusing on, oh man, how many wholesale deals? I did 3 wholesale deals. Let's scale it up to 10 because I saw some guy that says, 10x your business. Fuck you. How about you start focusing from the beginning and learning how to make passive income? Because passive income is going to be a little bit harder to make than transactional income, which is a wholesale deal. The problem with the wholesale deal, the problem with the fix and flip, the problem with the big chunk of money is that eventually you're going to run out of that money and then you're going to need to do this shit again. So from the very beginning, even if you're just making $100 here, $100 there, $200 on this house, $150 on this house, guess what? That shit adds up. And before you know it, if you do what I tell you, which is lower down the time. So the person asked how long did it take? It probably took me about, I'm going on my 15th year. So probably took me 13, 14 years before I finally became financially free. Had I known what I'm telling you right now to lower down my cost of living and more importantly, start focusing from an earlier stage in my career to create passive income, not just get the deals. Not if I have an opportunity between a $20,000 check or $200 a month, I'm going to take $200 a month because that's not cool. Posting a $200 a month check is not cool. It's not as cool as posting a $20,000 check that you got, so all your friends could be like, "Oh, you're fucking awesome." So if I could go back and I can go back in time, then that would significantly cut that. I would say it would at least cut it at least in half. In half.
Wow. All right, man. So here's another one, brother. It's how do you give back to the people who went through what you went through so they can have a paradigm shift in your life? All right, there's more to it, bro. Going from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset, and do you speak or connect with special organizations?
Yeah, so there's a few things that I do. First and foremost, I run a nonprofit here in Phoenix. It's called Together We Grow Phoenix. Initially, we were helping out the homeless and lower income kids. We had giveaways every single month where we would donate whatever for the homeless. We had water in the summer. We had blankets in the winter. We had food and other shit that we went to go do for the lower income kids. We had back to school drives. We had Halloween drives. We had Thanksgiving, Easter, Christmas, that type of shit. So that's one thing that I did. Recently, I decided to switch the whole thing that we were doing, and we're going to be helping lower income inner city kids learn entrepreneurial skills and financial freedom, because I truly believe that that's the best way that I can help them. So that's what I do on that end. On the business side of things, I used to offer coaching, and I've been speaking on stage for a few years now. And when I first started speaking on stage, I used to talk about my journey and fixing and flipping and getting into multifamily and all that shit. But I really realized very quickly that people don't need that. That doesn't really make the change. That's just another how-to that you're never gonna fucking do anyway. So what I decided to do is I decided to give back the best way that I know how to give back, which is helping people unfuck their mindset. So I do a few things. I have a program that I mentioned, Unfuck Your Mindset. If you guys go there, you can get the first lesson for free. We're going to have the pre-launch special, which is going to run for about 2 weeks. I'm going to have a super discounted price. And then I'm also going to be offering lifetime membership for that on the discounted price. Once we launch, it's going to be just a monthly thing for you guys to do. So that, you can do that. However, I do have other options for a lot of you guys that are just getting new, don't really have that money to invest in yourself. You can go check out the group, Unfuck Your Mindset community. That is a free group, and I purposely made it free. It's private, but I purposely made it free so everybody doesn't have an excuse. I couldn't afford it. I really wanted VP's help, but I couldn't. Nope, group is right there for you. The second thing is you can check out my podcast, Unfuck Your Mindset. And it's wherever you find podcasts. If you happen to find it, if you happen to listen to your podcast on iTunes, the U in fuck is a little star because they wouldn't let me write fuck. So Unfuck Your Mindset with a little star. And please do me a favor, leave me a 5-star review. I'm at like 85. I'm looking to get to 100. So
there you
that
go.
would be really helpful. But those are the things that I give out for free. And then I do speak. I mean, I speak all over the country. Obviously, with the COVID stuff, that's kind of put a dent to this, but I'm always doing shit like that. Like I didn't ask Jesse for money. I didn't say, what can you do for me? I didn't say, hey man, are you going to hook me up? Are you going to do something? I don't give a shit, man. I don't give a fuck. This is my way to give back. This is my way to help you guys. And I really hope that I'm making it very clear that you should be focusing on your mind. Just because you physically doesn't work doesn't mean that you're not working. And we've all heard the saying, work smarter, not harder. It all starts in here, starts thinking of how you're going to do, knowing and understanding that you're worthy to make money without busting your ass, knowing and understanding that you can definitely make money without using any of your own money, without fucking, who gives a shit how old you are? Who gives a shit how shitty your credit are? Who gives a shit if you owe money to other people? It doesn't fucking matter. This business allows you to do it, but it all starts right here. And when I used to coach people one-on-one in real estate and they would pay me for mentorship, I realized very quickly that I was wasting a lot of these people's money because they just didn't have the right mindset. So I started the program, I started the podcast. And as I said, the program is just a much more step-by-step version of what I do. I literally take you through what I did over the last 10, 12 years to unfuck my mindset. And I teach it the same way that I was taught, which is week in, week out, because my mentor that I was telling you where I went to go read this book over here, they actually fucking, we used to go before COVID every single Tuesday for 90 minutes. Every single Tuesday, I was going in and read. And once again, I'm not just reading the book, I'm studying the book. So slow and steady wins the race. And if you guys, as I said, you guys can follow me on Instagram at Cashflow Creator. You guys can go to the Unfuck Your Mindset community. The conversations are being amazing. If you haven't checked out the podcast, check it out. I am who I am at all times. Never do I pretend to be anything other than what I am. So if you liked this, then you're going to love all that other shit.
That's awesome, bro. Man, that's a perfect way to end, bro. Appreciate you, man. I'll make sure to share all of that. Our social guys will share all of that on our page, bro. Man, thank you for taking the time to spend the time out here with the collab. And dude, we wish you nothing but the best, bro. But that was fire, bro. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, I want to remind you guys one last thing. This is something that I remind everybody in my podcast. I encourage you to invest your time with me, not just spend your time with me. And the difference between spending your time and investing your time, spending looks like this. Oh yeah, that was cool, man. That was awesome. Yup, and then let me go back to my regular bullshit.
Right.
Or you can invest your time, because we just spend an hour and a half here anyway. That's an hour and a half that you could have been with your kids or doing something else. Make that shit count and invest it and get a return by actually implementing the shit that I'm talking about. So guys, I appreciate the fuck out of you. Thank you, Jesse. I hope you guys have a great motherfucking day, and I will see you guys at the group.
Awesome, bro. Hey, keep killing it, Brian.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Have a good one.